So you've only got to find a couple of these Hellforge Embers to basically get 100 augment for free. And then if we stick in the third one, well, what we will get is 125 to main stat, which is pretty sick. And as you can see, I've taken advantage of this on PTR. I've slapped a bunch of 125s on pretty much anything I've got that's ancient, because why the hell not? We've got all the resources.
Hello, my friend. Stay a while and listen.
What's going on, YouTube? It's Filthy, and we're back with another video. We are on the Season 25 PTR. This is going to be the greatest season Diablo 3 has ever seen. 100%. I'm convinced. I've played for a few hours today. The season theme is absolutely phenomenal. Obviously, this is PTR. These numbers are subject to change. I think there will be some tweaks to this, like we saw with the Ethereals, which is the current season. But there is a whole bunch of stuff you can do with these gems. We're only just about dipping our toe in, but I can already tell this is going to be a fantastic season. It's going to be great for solo casual players. It's going to be great for people who group. It's just all round. It's just going to be fantastic. Trust me, hear me out. Before we do jump in though, guys, as always, thumbs up helps out the channel. If you're interested in playing Season 25 in any way, shape or form, do subscribe. We're going to be blasting out guides because this is a season theme that I think is going to impact every build in the game. Not necessarily changed, but it will change quite a bunch of them because there are some very interesting mechanics in here. These gems are going to be used ever so slightly differently, I think, from build to build. So we're going to cover just as many as we can. Right, okay, so Season 25, we've got no date at the moment. We haven't had the 2-week warning for the end of Season 24 yet. So no real guess as to when this is actually going to go live. But hopefully speaking, it's somewhere in the region of about 3 or 4 weeks from now. You know, pre-Christmas, let's put it that way. Right, the season theme is they have added new legendary gems. Okay, so we've got 7 new gems in total. 1, 2 and 3 from the Prime Evils. So this is the Shard of Hatred, the blue one, the Sliver of Terror, the red one, and then this kind of like funky yellow looking Fragment of Destruction. These 3 go in your helm. Okay, you can only put 1 in your helm, obviously, so you have to choose. You have to go for one of these and they go in. Now, for the weapons, actually we've got choice of 4. So we have got here a Stain of Sin, we have got an Essence of Anguish, we've got a Dreg of Lies, and we've also got a Loaf of Bread, the Remnant of Pain. Any one of these can go in your weapon. You can only do 1. Now at the moment on PTR there is a bug. If you dual wield, you can equip 2 with a bit of cheese. They're going to fix that and take that out. So you're basically choosing one of these gems for a weapon slot, and you're choosing one of these gems here for your helm. Now, first question, when do they start dropping? Immediately. Now, it says in the blog notes that they have got increased chance to drop from bosses. So I'm guessing if you're doing bounties, they'll be very common. What I found is that they drop pretty frequently. So they drop at level 1. As soon as you start leveling, I found a bunch whilst I leveled my Demon Hunter. They're quite common at T16. Now, obviously, on PTR, we do have the massive legendary buff chance. So we do get a lot more loot than normal. Obviously, we can, on PTR, grab them off the PTR vendor, which is why I've got so many maxed out. But they will be fine. You'll find these. I don't think it's going to be a problem, the drop rate for these. What is more interesting is you have to find this consumable here, the Hellforge Ember, if you want to upgrade them. So they actually start off looking like this, where they just have 1 base power, and then you can unlock as you increase the rank on them, so you can go up to rank 1, up to rank 2, up to rank 3, so on and so forth, and each time it'll unlock more stats for it. So this is one at number 2, so obviously we've still got 1 left to go. We've got a number 3 here, so let's just do a quick number 1 because I don't think we've prepped one of those. So that's a rank 1 one with 2 missing as well. So the idea is that as you find these Hellforge Embers, you can power up your legendary gems. Now, these seem to drop with about the same frequency as Remelandes. the regular sockets. Now, if you're a person who plays loads, you will find absolutely tons of these gifts during the season, so this probably won't be a problem. If you're really minimal game time, then you're going to have to be a bit more judicious about which gems you increase. So I guess let's just have a little look through and see what they do. So the Shard of Hate, the base power, 15% reduced damage we deal, which is not great, whilst we have 3 or fewer enemies within 25 yards. If 3 or more enemies are within the same distance, so obviously close range kind of stuff, you deal 10% extra damage up to 100%. So we can get up to double damage on that one. For the Sliver of Terror, the base power, cooldowns are increased 25%. Sounds awful, but for every skill on cooldown, you get damage reduction and also up to 75% increased damage. So bear in mind, you can have 6 skills theoretically on cooldown. That's quite a lot of juice. And the Fragments of Destruction, this is quite nice. You can move through enemies unhindered. Obviously, an early drop of this would be kind of nice. Getting stuck sucks. Each enemy you pass through, you'll mark them for destruction for 7 seconds. Enemies that are marked that die take 1 second off your cooldown. So a bit like the Messerschmitt's Reaver. If the mark for destruction expires before an enemy dies, you lose 2% of your health as damage, and then marks not applied if you're below 35% health. So like already, just from these 3 gems, you can see, particularly this last one, we've got some very interesting mechanics here. This is potentially going to change how you play. Now, in terms of the weapon ones, the Sin of Stain, you deal 25% less damage, but when you kill an elite enemy, you spawn a pool of blood that increases damage on non-elite enemies by 250%, lasting for 7 seconds. The Essence of Anguish, every time we deal poison damage, you increase your cooldown reduction, move speed, and damage received by 5% for 50%, max 10 stacks. So, again, some pretty cool mechanics going on there. Drag of Lies, reduced damage enemies hit by 33% for 5 seconds. Damage you deal is reduced by 50%. So a lot of these have got kind of a trade-off. The next one, Remnant of Pain, critical chance reduced by 15%, but attacks against incapacitated enemies are automatically crits. Obviously you're going to be able to synergize that pretty well. You can incapacitate enemies pretty easily. So that's the kind of base effects. You just slap them, they've got no level on them. So as I say, you can use them from level 1. Now, when they're fully ranked up, it is a little bit of a mixed bag as to what you get. Now, each shard has actually got 3 variants. So as you unlock them, you unlock the skills or the kind of the stats on them, and then you get this extra kind of, it's a bit like a legendary power, and there are 3 for each one. So what stays constant on each of these is you deal the 15% reduced damage on the Shard of Hate, but you can now get a move speed increased by 50%, obviously godly for speed farming. Each enemy within 25 yards reduces your move speed by 10%. So obviously this is like a long range type one. If you're blasting everything before you get there, then you're not going to suffer the negative impact. So obviously pretty nice. What else have we got? You now deal 15% for every enemy instead of 10%, up to a maximum of 150 already on the special powers. This is like a boosted version, so it basically means that again, the gem is a little bit more powerful. We've also got killing an elite enemy pulls enemies in within 40 yards to where the elite died. So again, you can kind of like group up and then detonate. So the mechanics are all pretty interesting. Now, each legendary gem for the helm slot gets all of the base powers of all of the normal gems that can go in. So you get a life roll, you get a cooldown roll, and you get a resource cost roll. So as you can see, we've always got them. Now you will also get a random stat. So like here we've got strength, here we've got armor, here I think we've got ranged attack reduction by 18%. So you can get intelligence, obviously vitality, just any stat on there. So basically you get the benefit as if you've got all of the gems socketed into your helm. You get a random stat that goes on, normally like main stat vitality, and then you get your secondary legendary power to it. So they're the 3 for the Shard of Hate. The Sliver of Terror, cooldowns are increased by 25%. But the secondary power on this one is you cast a devastating ring of fire after killing 50 enemies. Pretty cool, nice AoE fire, which again is pretty interesting. We've got attack speed, critical chance are increased by 7% for each skill on cooldown. Again, you know, there's just so much you can do with all this. It's pretty good. If 3 or more skills are on cooldown, your lightning and fire damage is increased by 50%. This does work with the Stone of Jordan, according to Wodijo, which is obviously pretty nice. So you can get yourself a nice damage buff with that one. We have got here on the Fragments of Destruction, you have 25% to restore 5% health when an enemy dies with the marked destruction. Obviously that links into the power above where you're kind of losing health as you go. So again, really nice kind of managing your health up and down, which could be pretty good. This one again is kind of like the juiced up version, so you increase the duration of marked of destruction from 7 seconds to 10 seconds. And then on this one we now leave a trail of fire like the Firewalker shoes that slay enemies who have been marked for destruction at 10%. So again, mixing in like the Firewalkers and the Executioner items together. So, you know, pretty darn cool. And obviously you're getting all of your stats. You also get an XP roll on all of them. So again, if you farm one early, so much the better. Now, in terms of weapons, we've got the Stain of Sin. This will basically put the pool on the floor. The pool will collect Rift Orb progress. So a bit of a kind of like, not like an average band, but again, pickup radius. Not the best, but again, obviously fairly interesting for that one. We have got that the blood pool now negates elite affixes. That's pretty nice. Some of the elite affixes are pretty annoying, so it will take them away. So if you like, you know, if you get frustrated with the wall or arcane lasers, it should prevent the monsters from actually using them. The blood will also freeze non-elite enemies on this particular variant of it. So again, you know, you can you know, use that for some crowd control, which would be pretty good. You know, Necromancer, you know, loves freezes, that kind of thing. And what have we got? This one, elite affix, freeze, and collect rift progress. Yeah, we've done all those three. So the essence of anguish we've got here. Every time you deal poison to an enemy, you increase your cooldown reduction up to 50% standard. When you deal poison damage to an enemy, they receive 50% increased poison damage from all sources for 10 seconds. Again, very interesting. So this counts, I think, from teammates, but 50% extra poison damage, pretty cool. We've got movement speed cooldown reduction can be increased up to 15 times by dealing poison damage to an enemy. That's going to be nuts. You know, again, some pretty cool stuff we can do with that one. Killing enemies deals damage done by the killing blow to everything in 25 yards. So nice AoE. Again, you know, very cool kind of concept here. We have got on the Dreg of Lies, special property on this one. On receiving fatal damage, spawn a shadow that prevents your death. Cheat death, obviously great for hardcore. Restores you to 35% health and grants plus 225 to all resist to every party member. And this lasts 15 seconds. Again, pretty interesting. Haven't seen anything like that before. We've got reduced damage of enemies hit by 33% for 5 seconds, but it reduces your damage by 50%. So again, that's going to be more of a kind of support one, I would have thought, because you're not really going to want to chalk off the 50%. And then on the secondary power for this one, each elite enemy slain with the damage reduction from the soul also reduces your active cooldown by 5 seconds. So again, a nice kind of cooldown mechanic, taking 5 seconds off things. And then we've got here double the damage reduction enemies receive when you critically strike them. So you can basically make them do 66% less damage if you crit them. Again, all this stuff, you know, it is exciting to think how we're going to put this together with builds. Now, for this particular gem here, we've got the crit chances reduced by 15% on the standard. On the secondary power, when you critically hit an enemy, you increase the attack speed of you and all your party by 5% for 5 seconds, stacking 10 times to 50% attack speed. Pretty nutty. We've got on this one, this is very interesting when we get move speed above 50%. So it doesn't grant move speed, but when we do go through it, we go through enemies, we knock them and stun them. Obviously, again, some CC, you know, can be good, can be bad. And then we've got enemies hit with cold damage have a 50% chance to freeze them, and cold skill damage is increased on frozen targets by 20%. So, there's just so much in terms of these weapons to get into. Now, again, we get a damage roll on all of them. We get the potentially elemental damage roll on them as well. So again, you'll have to sort of, mix and match that. You'll maybe have to take Stone of Jordan. Stone of Jordan, my favourite item in the game, might well be of more use. You get crit damage roll, damage against elites, life per hit thorn. So it's, again, similar to the helms. It's like having the base effect of like all the normal stuff that you can put in. So realistically, you're not losing out anything by putting these legendary gems in. You get the base effect of all of the standard gems. Same for the helm. But this is not where the story ends, guys. This is absolutely not, because this is one of the reasons why it's going to be absolutely fantastic. Now, normally, what you'll find is that as you go through and you're looking to upgrade these things, you might get one that sucks. You might get power that you don't necessarily want. And that was one of the gripes with the Ethereal season a little bit, in that it was very hard to match the Ethereal with the combo. Now, there are a decent amount of combos for this. It's obviously, Hellforge Embers are going to be very desirable next season. You're probably not going to have a bazillion of them, but fear not, because if you have used them and you rank up your gem and you don't like it, you can augment with these gems, which is absolutely nuts. So I guess let's show you how you ID them. So you just get them like this in your inventory. You obviously right click your Hellforge Ember like you would do with a gift. It pops up to rank 1, it pops up to rank 2, and it pops up to rank 3. Let's do this one to rank 2, and we'll do this one to rank 1. Now, a base one of these gems, so like without even one of the powers being exposed, so a rank 0 soul shard will give you a 50 level augment, which is pretty cool. So we're just going to go and we're just going to augment, and we're just going to redo this one a few times. So we're going to stick in a level 1, so this is with 1 ember empowered on it, and we can transmute this, and lucky we get a 75, so 375 dex on it. If we repeat this with the level 2 one, obviously you're probably going to do this with a level 3 gem because it makes the most sense, but in the interest of science we'll do it. We get a rank 100, 500 to main stat, obviously pretty good. You've only got to get a rank 2, so you've only got to find a couple of these Hellforge Embers to basically get a 100 augment for free. And then if we stick in the third one, what we will get is 125 to main stat, which is pretty sick. And as you can see, I've taken advantage of this on PTR. I've slapped a bunch of 125s on pretty much anything I've got that's ancient, because why the hell not? We've got all the resources. Now, this is a really big deal. I haven't seen too many people make much of this. It's a really big deal because if you want to play all the sets in the game or multiple builds in the game, the biggest grind is augments. I've made tons of videos on how to augment as fast as possible. This is going to completely change that, which is wonderful for the game. We're going to be able to just find these, you could just simply find 13 of these regular gems, the soul shards, without any upgrading, and slap them on everything and have level 50 augments everywhere. If you wanted to save yourself 10 or 13 of the Hellforge Embers, you can then up that to 75. And if you save yourself 26, you can up it to 100. Now, obviously, again, it depends how long you play. I'm not saying this is going to be, you're going to be able to augment every single set in the game. I mean, you could do, obviously, with enough time. But what I'm getting at is you might go through the process of upgrading one of these gems. You might get it to its final third phase. You might go, man, that's crap. I don't like it. It's a shame. I mean, you might be able to use it with another character because obviously they roll with different stats and whatnot. But at the very end of the day, you can then stick it in a cube, stick the augment on it, and it's 125 augment. And I just think that is incredibly cool. So, why is this season going to be incredible? Well, we've got fantastic, gems that we can theory craft with. There's all sorts of combinations for group and solo play. It's just going to be excellent. These on-screen visual effects, which is obviously something that we like with some of the gems. We've got the fact that it is a shortcut to augmentation. You've got to find them. You've got to find all of the Hellforge embers. You've got the kind of RNG of upgrading the gems to see whether you get the one that you want for your build. You've then got the decision of, well, do I want to swap this gem to another build, or do I want to simply stick it on my character and get 125 level augments? Like, honestly, this is I'm just bananas excited about this next season. I've tested this for a few hours today. It's just been incredible. I haven't even put a proper build together. No legendary gem, but the Boon of the Hoarder. But it's just been so much fun, and we haven't even dipped our toe into all of these combinations that we can do, like poison explosions with Necro and all the move speed and all that stuff. It's just going to be incredibly cool. 150 is going to get smashed everywhere, I think, by group players. It may well be very easy to do solo. We're going to have to see how everything stacks together. There will probably be some changes. The absolute mega ideal is that these 3 gems are all very competitive with each other for the helm slot. The goal, hopefully, will be that all 4 of these gems find their use in the weapon slot. For speed farming, for pushing, whatever it is. Basically, we just want it so that we can find these items, get really excited about finding them, get really excited about upgrading them, and then at the very end of the day, if you don't get what you want, you can slap them on your gear for super augmentation. And I just absolutely can't wait to see how these end up. And to start making build guides. Right, that's it, guys. I've waffled for 23 minutes. I hope you can tell I'm excited. I hope you're excited. Do jump onto PTR. Obviously, in the ARPG space, there's loads going on at the moment. We've got the Immortal Closed Beta, which I'm enjoying. I just can't connect to my computer at the moment, so I can't tape anything. We've got Lost Ark Beta. Diablo 2 Resurrected, still enjoying that. What a time to be alive. Right, so that's enough waffle. Enjoy your weekend. I hope you are getting super pumped for this next season. I'll see you in the future. Take it easy. Peace.